Coach, first scrimmage looked like the heat was a little bit of an issue.
Certainly. I mean, you always worry about where your conditioning is, and you and I have talked before. No matter what we condition, Donald Godwin, coach I knew for a long time. He's longer I coach, the smarter he gets. He always said you're not gonna get in game shape until you really play games. So that's the purpose of a scrimmage, and trying to lead up to the first game and get in as good a shape as we can. I know we're going, and a scrimmage is certainly, it's not going to be near as close to a game as what we need. So we've got a lot of work to do conditioning wise. And I told young men it's nothing new. We're going to have to pick our practice intensity up. Our practices are designed, if the guys are really getting after it, to try to get as close to game intensity as possible. So we're going to have to pick that part up. But heat's going to be a factor in Texas. It always is. So we're just going to have to deal with that.
Okay, one thing about Hearne, they had a quarterback that was dropping the ball in some pretty good places, so that gave you a good chance to check out your secondary.
Sure, we got some looking. We got some young guys back there, and we're still looking for the right combination. So. As I've always told you, probably the most important practice we're going to have so far is going to be tomorrow morning when we look at this first film and we can really evaluate where we are. And the young men can see themselves on film. There's nothing like seeing yourself on film. So, we got a lot of work to do, I feel like, but, it's probably not a whole lot different than most years at this time. And I'll really reserve judgment until I look at that film. So, I thought effort was good. If we don't have effort, then we're really going to have problems. I thought the guys were giving, effort. We just going to have to work on getting better.
Okay, and you graduated a lot of guys. You graduated
Right.
some all-staters. You graduated
Right.
some all-districts.
Right.
How are the younger guys stepping up?
Well, I think we're making progress, but, as a coach, I don't know if we're ever making as much progress as I would like to, but, we're progressing, and that's the whole thing we're going to have to keep working on, and that's something that we preach to the young men all the time about. We've got to get better every day, something, we got to get out there, and every chance we've got to work on getting better. We certainly have some young men that are, they're new to the varsity football level, and, tonight they got a taste of that, varsity level of speed, and so from here we got to work and get better. It's no different than it is every year.
One thing I noticed on this scrimmage, and it looked like on both sides, usually the first scrimmage very vanilla plays. Both sides were really slinging it out there. Y'all were running some more complex plays.
With a returning quarterback, we're able to do a few things. Of course, he was in a learning mode last year. We've been working real hard trying to implement as much of our stuff as we can, which we've progressed pretty far. Yeah, we threw the convoy. We tried to throw shovel out. That was not real good, but we always try to implement as much as we can, as quick as we can. A lot of it depends on what kind of progress we're making. But that part, I think we're progressing pretty good. We've implemented quite a bit of our defensive scheme and quite a bit of our offensive scheme. Now it becomes a matter of polishing it up and getting better at it. That's one thing we really got to work on.
Okay, and don't get me wrong, Hearne is a good team, but next week
Oh,
you're
yeah.
scrimmage against the defending state champ.
The three-time defending state champ, not the defending state champ, a three-time defending state champ with I don't know how long a winning streak is at. 48 games. They haven't been beaten 48 games. So and it's always a good scrimmage. Boy, that's really. I mean, Hearne gave us some really. They got good speed and good skill people, but the old Bremond Tigers, they're year in, year out. They're going to be tough, hard nosed, and we'll find out a little bit more about what we're all about next week. That's for sure.
Okay, and next week's the ice cream bowl.
That's
also.
correct, right? Big deal. We'll play, scrimmage and have our ice cream afterwards. I talked to Coach Kasowski. He's always, they look forward to. That's one thing's been constant. This is what year is this for me? I have to count number 28. It's 28th time we scrimmage Bremond, so they look forward to coming and getting ice cream afterwards, just like our boys. But look forward to a really good scrimmage. We got to make sure that like I told the young men, and we told them right before we left out, we got to make sure we make some improvement next week.
Okay, next week ice cream bowl at Pirate Field.
That's right.
Okay.
See you there.